Hey guys, Nintenrob here. Coming at you with a quick video today because there's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow and I want to make a quick video going over my predictions for what's going to be in it, and I am so excited about it. Because let's get the obvious out of the way. We're probably going to get a new Zelda trailer tomorrow. Like, it's been eons since we've got anything. Like, we've got snippets here and there, but tomorrow should be substantial. I've got a quick list in front of me of what we might see, games. I think we already have a good idea on a lot of what we're going to see though. Like, there's a lot they need to go over, like a lot of DLC especially. Like, for example, Mario Kart 8 Booster Pass. Probably going to see a teaser for the next round of that, Wave 4. They just announced the Piranha Plant Ruins track in Mario Kart Tour. It's alright. It functions like a city track though, so there's multiple routes, so it should be a lot of fun. I'm not sure if we'll see it tomorrow though. Who knows, they might go something else. A lot of people are predicting a Yoshi's Island track to go with the Fruit Cup, which I think makes a lot of sense. On top of that, Pikmin 4 we're probably going to see. Like, or maybe not. We've announced Pikmin 4. They might save Pikmin 4 for later on in the year for a full unveil. Because there's a lot they need to go. Like, I feel like with Tears of the Kingdom being in this trailer, in this direct, we're probably going to see a lot of dedication to that, and I feel like they don't want Tears of the Kingdom to overshadow something else. I think it depends whether Tears of the Kingdom is at the beginning of this direct or at the end, because if it's at the beginning, they're probably going to have another bombshell at the end, but if they don't show Tears of the Kingdom straight away, then that's got to be the bombshell at the end. They always end on a bombshell with these things. So maybe they'll open with Pikmin 4 and then close with Tears of the Kingdom. But on top of that, we've got smaller games like Bayonetta. So Bayonetta 3 is probably going to see an update. There have been data mines for potential DLC, I believe. We could get John playable in the main story, on top of loads of other stuff. As well as a new game that they can release a new trailer for, Cereza and the Lost Demon. I haven't played the demo yet. I haven't looked into the playable demo in Bayonetta 3 yet, but I'm pretty excited about this game. I love the Bayonetta series. I think it's going to be a great way to get another new glimpse of this character. And perhaps it will explain some of the less than crazy stuff, the weirdness going on in Bayonetta 3. I won't go into spoilers there. On top of that, there's been a lot of rumors circulating of a potential new Mario baseball game. Like, I've never played the baseball series before, but I've heard they're pretty fun. I don't know if the Switch version will be able to match the old ones because a lot of their sports titles have been less than great. I actually think Mario Tennis Aces and Mario Golf Super Rush are pretty fun, though I do prefer the classic style of Mario Golf compared to the new one. Specifically the single player. I'm not a fan of the single player in Mario Golf Super Rush. I play it for fun with friends. I love being able to run and explore the golf course. But in terms of the single player, I don't think it's that great. I'd rather play as Mario characters to me. Speaking of Mario characters though, Mario plus Rabbids is due for some DLC this year. I think this would be a great time to show some of that. The Rayman DLC with Rabbid Mario and Rabbid Peach. I hope there's more than just those three playable characters. I think that would be a missed opportunity not to have not to have Rayman meet some of the other Mario characters. But this is Ubisoft. They didn't really do that with last time. It was just Donkey Kong, Rabbid Cranky Kong, and Rabbid Peach in the first game's DLC. I'd love to see more Rosalina. Who knows? On top of that, another game getting DLC that I'm actually really excited for is Xenoblade. I don't know if they'll do the story unveil yet, maybe a teaser for it, because we still have a few more waves to get through before we get to that point. But I'm certain we'll get a look at the next new character added to the game and the quests to go along with that. Yeah, the first wave of Xenoblade 3 DLC was all about an artificial blade. So that's tied into Xenoblade 2. I predict this next wave is going to tie into Xenoblade 1 with its new character. Next up, Splatoon 3 DLC. Like, I mean, which we do know that there's going to be a big Splatoon 3 update involving Off the Hook. I think it makes sense to do a trailer here, especially if they're not doing E3 this year. We don't know anything about Nintendo's June Direct, or if they're going to even do one this year. But I think it makes sense for Splatoon to get some sort of focus here. It might not be the big DLC, they'll probably just do like the next wave of weapons or whatever, or the new maps, but Splatoon's going to be in every single Nintendo Direct at this point. It makes sense. Next up, Advance Wars. We haven't heard anything about Advance Wars for a while. We haven't. Like, it was supposed to release last year, but got delayed due to real world circumstances. But I think enough time has passed where either A, they feel more comfortable releasing it, or B, perhaps they've changed the game a little bit to remove some of the similarities to a real world country. Like, that would obviously taint the original game a bit, but I think it works. And we also have a new Kirby game coming out, Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. And we know for a fact that this game is going to have new modes that haven't been revealed yet. I won't go into it just because I don't want to spoil anyone, but if you're interested in yourself, look up Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe back cover. It reveals a new mode, and I think that mode is going to be revealed in this direct. It doesn't make sense to advertise it on the back of the box art if it's not going to be advertised first in a trailer elsewhere. Finally, Kid Icarus Uprising port. There's been a lot of speculation going around about Kid Icarus Uprising, Bandai Namco being the ones behind it. Nothing confirmed, but I think this is, if we're going to get Kid Icarus Uprising, now's the time. And Sakurai even teased it a bit in one of his videos. Like, he mentioned the fact that, hey, will this game ever get ported? Who knows? So I think this makes a lot of sense. And Kid Icarus Uprising is an amazing game on the 3DS. I recommend everybody play it if it comes to Switch. It's one of the top tier games ever made. Like, it's easily going to be Game of the Year if it comes out on Switch. So I think that covers a lot of the easy stuff. Now I want to go into the more tricky stuff. There's been rumors of either a 2D Mario or a Donkey Kong game coming out. I'm not sure on either. Like, 2D Mario sort of makes sense, where getting the Mario movie, it makes sense to do a new game to sort of tie into that. And I think a Mario movie is a good excuse to sort of do a 2D Mario that fleshes out a bit, like goes away from the new style, something more groundbreaking, more new, that isn't the new series. But I feel like if we're gonna get a 2D Mario that was to tie into the movie, it would have been announced already. I know some games have a very quick turnaround, but February to April doesn't feel enough for something that's brand new. Although we are overdue for a 2D Mario, I think it does make sense from a certain point of view. Next is Donkey Kong. Like, we haven't seen the Donkey Kong series in a while, and I'll come back to Donkey Kong in a little bit because I want to talk about a developer. Goodfeel. Goodfeel hasn't done anything in a long time. They haven't done much since Yoshi's Crafted World. They're the people behind Woolly World and, like, as well as Wario Land Shake It. They do 2D platformers. So I'm wondering, perhaps Goodfeel could be the people behind a new Donkey Kong game, a new 2D Donkey Kong game, or perhaps the 2D Mario game. I think there's a lot of, they have a unique charm to it that I think might match Mario really well. I mean, it already matches Yoshi. Or they could be doing a new Yoshi game or Wario Land. It makes sense for Goodfeel to get a new game announced in this direct. It does. And pairing that with Donkey Kong potentially. I mean, even if Goodfeel isn't making the next Donkey Kong game, I think it makes sense to get a new Donkey Kong game soon. I think maybe 3D, just so that we can leave the 2D Donkey Kong games to Retro Studios once they're done with Metroid Prime. Which makes for a good segue. Are we seeing Metroid Prime in this video? I don't know. Like, now is the time, I think, to show off Metroid Prime. It's been 4 years or something since the development reset. They should have something to show us now. But this is the direct that's going to be going into Tears of the Kingdom. So unless they just say, hey, we're going to do a separate direct for Tears of the Kingdom next week, which I think is a real possibility, I don't know if we can get like the Metroid Prime 4 bombshell on top of the Tears of the Kingdom bombshell, I guess. But it doesn't. So there's a logic there. I don't know if they want to do both. They might. Maybe in Nintendo's eyes, Metroid Prime 4 isn't the bombshell they think it is. So I think it was announced in like the middle of the 2018 Direct E3. Who knows? Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. But maybe. I think this is what's going to happen. I think they're going to announce that we will reveal Metroid Prime 4 details later this year. So they're going to confirm that we're going to get more news. And then they're going to announce the Metroid Prime Trilogy port, or remaster, or remake, or whatever it is. I mean, Metroid Prime Trilogy is the perfect way to get us into how Metroid Prime will play on the Switch. Because that's naturally going to have to be very different to how it played on the Wii with the motion controls. Or even GameCube is probably going to be a fair bit different, because like most shooters play quite different to how Metroid Prime plays on GameCube. On top of that, I want some more wild predictions for this video. Something just to stand out. So in the last big direct, we got a lot of farming simulators. I don't think we're going to see that this time. I think instead of farming simulators, we're going to get a lot of tactical RPGs, following in the footstep of Fire Emblem, which I don't think is going to be really mentioned much in this. At most, we'll get like, oh, here's the next ring or whatever. I haven't played the new Fire Emblem game yet. I want to. It's on the list. It's just going to be later on the list. And I think we're going to get a new Grezzo game, and I think it's going to be something original instead of a remake. Grezzo being the people responsible for the Ocarina of Time remake, Majora's Mask, A Link's Awakening, and their original game, Ever Oasis. I think they're going to do something similar, but completely original to that. I don't know what it could be. Maybe they'll do their own sort of 3D Zelda-style new game, since they've learned a lot from doing Zelda games. Because, like, you've got Tears of the Kingdom, which is going to be a big open world, whatever sort of games. Maybe it'll have traditional dungeons, maybe it won't. Who knows? I hope it has traditional dungeons. But maybe Grezzo can make something similar to classic 3D Zelda games. It's not quite open world, it's more streamlined compared to that, but it features all the classic Zelda elements you like. My watch is talking to me. Shh. I forgot to turn my exercise thing off. Sorry. But I think it makes sense to do something with Grezzo. Next up, I think we're going to see potentially some of those 3DS games that are going to disappear from the eShop make its way to the Switch. And I've got listed a Pushmo collection, or pool blocks for those in Europe and Australia, like myself. Like a pool blocks collection, I think makes sense. Something that compiles all the games that are about to get lost on the 3DS, or even the Wii U. I think it would. I don't know if it'd be a big seller. I think it's going to be one of those smaller titles they'll announce in like the middle of the direct. But I think it makes sense to keep Pushmo alive. It does. It's not their biggest franchise, but it's a cute franchise. It's one of those smaller things that help make Nintendo. And another one I have listed, which I'm not sure on, is Mother 3. And I know that's a bit of a broken record mentioning Mother 3, but we're getting a bit of Earthbound merch here. I think it would sort of make sense to do it. I reckon that we're going to get Mother 3 at some point. Whether or not it's like GBA, whatever, or like a full-blown remake. I think a Mother Trilogy remake would make sense. I think it'd be a pretty cool way to revitalize the franchise. It would be. And like, I'd love to see it done in that toy art style. Like, you know, the official art for those games are really just clay figures. Like, the Link's Awakening art style, I think, would match the Earthbound style perfectly. Maybe Grezzo is working on Earthbound remakes, who knows? Although, you do have to consider that Earthbound is also available on Super Nintendo Online, so maybe they're not working on that just yet. I think that covers everything. Like, I was hoping to go longer, but honestly, I've just come home from work. I haven't had any time other than this to talk about this direct. And, like, thankfully, I'm going to be free to watch it tomorrow live. Like, for me, the direct is at 8 AM. I start work at 12 PM. So I'll be home alone and go all out and watch it. But other than that, yeah, it should be fun. This is just, I wanted a quick low effort video to put out there to hopefully get excited for this direct. Anyway, until then, see ya!